She proceeded to her residence, fetched her suitcase, yet she never emerged thereafter.
He said, "I'm the maintenance guy. I heard you're looking for me."
Gloves and what else? The blanket.
Oh my God, that is my blanket.
Has there ever been a time you were turned down by someone you admired? Did you feel disillusioned, mortified, sorrowful, distressed, or perhaps even irate? However, you found a way to cope, didn't you? In contrast, the individual we're about to discuss was unable to accept rejection from a girl he was attracted to, leading him to commit an inexcusable act. We delve into the case of Miya Marcano. Born on April 26, 2002, to Yuma Scarbreal and Marlon Marcano, Miya Marcano grew up in a loving household in Pembroke Pines, Florida. Her father, known as DJ Eternal Vibes, had a well-established career as a DJ in Florida. Miya had one older sibling, Marlon Jr., with whom she shared a tight bond. Following her parents' divorce, their mother relocated to the Virgin Islands, while their father remarried a woman named Giselle Blanche. Giselle stepped into the role of a second mother to Miya and Marlon Jr., providing steady support and care. Miya, described as an intelligent and self-assured young woman, had a deep love for her family and was a constant source of support for them. She was a beautiful, driven individual, clear about her goals in life and unafraid to pursue them. Known affectionately as Mimi within her family, she received their unwavering support in all her endeavors. They also fondly referred to her as their family's princess. Miya, a notable alumna of Charles Flanagan High School, was highly recognized for her academic prowess and her unwavering support for her peers. Upon her graduation in May 2020, she promptly enrolled at Valencia College in Orlando, forgoing a gap year. Mina had set her sights on acquiring an art degree, with plans to venture into sports medicine or physiotherapy in the future. While pursuing her studies, she secured a part-time position at a leasing office in Avon Villas, a student accommodation complex near the University of Central Florida. To streamline her daily routine, she also took up residence in the complex. For some time, Miya expertly balanced her academic commitments and work responsibilities. However, she soon found herself in uncomfortable situations with a persistent maintenance worker who repeatedly made unwelcome advances. Despite her repeated rejections, the man remained undeterred, causing Miya to confide in her family about the issue. On September 24, 2021, Miya departed from work around 5 p.m., with plans to fly to Fort Lauderdale for a family visit. She was seen entering her apartment to retrieve her suitcase, but was never seen leaving. Her family became increasingly concerned when she ceased responding to their messages and calls. This was highly uncharacteristic of Miya, leading them to speculate that she may have been preoccupied with catching her flight or experiencing phone issues. However, when her flight landed without her aboard, their fears intensified. With her phone remaining unresponsive, a sense of foreboding settled over the family. At approximately 9:30 p.m., Miya's mother contacted the Orange Sheriff's Office to request a wellness check. A deputy was immediately dispatched to Miya's apartment. Upon arrival, his persistent knocks went unanswered. Eventually, one of Miya's roommates arrived and granted the officer entry. The state of the apartment was alarming, and it quickly became evident that something was amiss. Upon attempting to enter Miya's room, the deputy found the door unlocked but obstructed from within. A glance through the back window revealed a mini dresser deliberately positioned against the door, suggesting Miya had attempted to barricade herself in. The officer also discovered signs of a possible struggle, including a tampered window, jewelry strewn across the floor, and red stains on her pillow. The deputy consulted with Miya's roommate, who confirmed that Miya had texted her at 5 p.m., stating her intention to head to the airport. When questioned about potential threats to Miya, the roommate alluded to the maintenance worker, Armando Caballero, who had been persistently harassing Miya with unwanted advances. Following the deputy's departure, Mina's family received no further updates on the situation. Attempts to contact Arden Villas were also unsuccessful, prompting the family to personally investigate the matter in Orlando. They reached the apartment complex at approximately 3 a.m., promptly contacting the sheriff's office for access to Miya's apartment. Despite clear signs of disturbance within the premises, the apartment was not officially designated as a crime scene, compelling Miya's family to initiate their own investigation. During their examination of her room, they discovered an unfamiliar yellow box cutter hidden under a rug. Not long after, an unexpected figure surfaced outside Miya's apartment. Armando Caballero. Miya's aunt found this quite peculiar, as they had yet to publicly declare Miya's disappearance. The question arose, how could he have possibly known? His appearance at 4 a.m. during his time off from work added an element of suspicion. Armando informed the officer that he had last seen Miya at 3 p.m. that very day, claiming that a shared acquaintance, Tati, had told him about her disappearance. However, Miya's family remained skeptical of his story and decided to confront him about the inconsistencies. Miya's family was already aware of Armando's infatuation with Mina. They knew he would incessantly message her, offering his life savings in exchange for her company. Given the mounting accusations and Armando's questionable conduct, one would anticipate that the deputy had sufficient grounds to detain and interrogate him. However, this was not the case. Shockingly, he was released with the justification that there was no tangible evidence to incriminate him. This decision sparked intense outrage within Miya's family, prompting them to personally investigate Miya's disappearance. In their pursuit for answers, the family surreptitiously tracked Armando to his residence. What they observed during their surveillance was profoundly alarming. Armando was seen transferring items from his vehicle: a pink blanket, gloves, and a black backpack. Upon closer inspection, they identified the blanket as Miya's, leading them to the chilling realization that Armando was likely involved in her disappearance. In an urgent response, the family immediately contacted 911. Upon their arrival, the police confronted Armando. However, due to the absence of a search warrant, they were unable to legally enter the apartment to search for Miya. Although Armando eventually allowed the family inside, their search yielded no significant findings. Consequently, Armando was once again left unimpeded. This turn of events was a source of immense frustration for the family, who had hoped he would disclose Miya's whereabouts. Adding to their woes, Armando subsequently disappeared later that day. At this point, Miya was officially listed as a missing person by the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and an arrest warrant was issued for Armando, the prime suspect. On Saturday, the 25th, around 4:30 p.m., shortly thereafter, detectives secured Armando's apartment. But by then, he had vanished. Investigations later revealed that on the day of Miya's disappearance, her apartment was accessed around 2 p.m. using an on-call maintenance key fob, known to be in Armando's possession. The same key was utilized to open the apartment at 4:30 p.m., just before Miya's shift concluded half an hour later. Miya herself entered her apartment at 5:06 p.m. using her key. Approximately an hour later, Armando's vehicle was spotted exiting the apartment complex. At 7:16 p.m., Armando made a false maintenance call to the complex, and 10 minutes later, he contacted the apartment office staff requesting gate access, likely in an attempt to establish an alibi. He left the complex around 7:38 p.m. armed with this new evidence. The police surmised that Armando was likely lying in wait for Miya in her apartment with the intention of abducting her. This led them to intensify their efforts to profile and locate Armando. Meanwhile, Miya's family, increasingly distraught and frustrated, disseminated Miya's photographs across the local area and on social media, appealing to anyone who might have information about her location to come forward. On the early morning of Monday, September 27, authorities were alerted to a distressing scene at an apartment complex. A man had been discovered hanging in the garage. The individual was later identified as Armando Caballero, who had been deceased for some time. This development dealt a severe blow to the case, as Caballero was the only person who could have provided vital information about Miya's whereabouts and whether she was still alive. Miya's family expressed their deep frustration at Caballero's decision to evade responsibility rather than reveal what he had done to Mina. However, they remained steadfast in their hope of finding Miya alive, holding on to the belief that she was possibly still in the vicinity, as they suspected Caballero had abducted her. In a press conference, Miya's aunt conveyed a heartfelt message, assuring Miya they were unwavering in their commitment to find her. In the wake of Armando's departure, the hunt for Miya escalated sharply, drawing in volunteers by the dozens to aid in the effort. Together with law enforcement, they meticulously combed through every corner of the town, inspecting rivers, lakes, and undergrowths for any trace of her. By the end of September, more than 30 extensive searches had been carried out across 3 counties, utilizing a multitude of resources such as helicopters, canine units, and dive teams. The Sheriff's Department had also set up a central operations center in Orange County, creating a strategic hub where investigators could systematically process all received tips and leads, as well as maintain clear communication with on-field personnel. The case involving Miya Marcano has escalated to the national stage, with her family imploring the FBI to augment the investigative efforts. Their plea was reinforced by a local congressman who publicly urged the FBI's involvement via Twitter. The Marcano family's standpoint is valid. If Miya has been transported across state lines, the FBI's expertise would be pivotal in the inquiry. The congressman updated his social media followers later in the day, confirming that the FBI was liaising with their local field office regarding Miya's case. As the investigation intensified, Miya's family and friends organized poignant candlelit vigils, praying for her safe return. Meanwhile, detectives worked diligently to retrace the steps of a man called Armando on the day Miya vanished. They discovered that he had visited Timber Scan, a notorious neighborhood in Orlando known for its high crime rate, including gun violence, homicide, and narcotics trafficking. This area, largely abandoned due to escalating insecurity, had become a ghost town, with dilapidated and deserted buildings looming ominously. Investigators noted that Armando had previously resided in this area, thereby possessing intimate knowledge of its layout and potential hiding spots. Mobile phone records indicated that Armando was in or near the Timber Scan apartments on the evening when Miya was reported missing. Subsequently, a search team was dispatched to comb the area. On October 2, 2021, they made the grim discovery of Miya's body concealed in a wooded section near Timber Scan. Miya's body was found bound with duct tape, with more tape covering her mouth. Her purse was found in close proximity, containing the shirt she was last seen wearing. Miya was partially clothed, donned in only her jeans, bra, and a robe. No evidence of trauma was detected, and due to the advanced state of decomposition, the cause of her death remained undetermined by the medical examiner. Miya's family has expressed their belief that the management at Eden Villas bears a degree of responsibility for the unfortunate incident. Citing a perceived lack of sufficient protective measures, they have initiated a wrongful death lawsuit against the residential complex. Upon closer examination, it appears this incident is not Armando's inaugural offense. In March of 2021, Armando, while employed at a separate apartment complex, penned a note to a female resident extending an invitation for a date. Initially, she agreed to accompany him in a few days. However, when Armando began to insist on meeting that very night, she became unnerved and subsequently canceled their plans. That same evening, a black dumbbell was launched through the window of her bedroom. While she did not visually identify the perpetrator, she was certain that it was Armando. In 2013, Armando found himself under arrest for possession of a minor homemade explosive device at a high school, allegedly as a prank. Fortunately, the incident did not result in any injuries. He entered a guilty plea to a downgraded charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and was subsequently placed on probation. Eden Villas, his current employer, has asserted that a thorough background check was conducted prior to his employment, and that the records in question pertained to another individual with a strikingly similar name. However, the statistical probability of two individuals sharing not only the same first, middle, and last names, but also the same birth date seems extremely low. I invite you to share your perspectives on this case. Specifically, should the apartment complex bear some responsibility for Miya's tragic demise? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe to stay updated with more such discussions.